I think someone needs to ask the Chinese where their vaunted AI is. Why is it just allowing them to get sick? Why hasn't it, of its own volition, stepped up and created a magical cure? All by itself. Because that's what AI would do, right? See, there's something I'm going to share with you a little later on in the video that proves the AI is a giant fiction. It is the little frightened man behind the curtain that doesn't do anything without the help of a human being. Some ask me, Maki, aren't you afraid by talking about all of the controversial things that you do that one day they're going to catch up with you and delete you or shadow ban you or this, that, or the other? Not with the AI, they're not going to. And for those that don't have a full and complete command of the English language, they're going to be hopelessly lost. See, that's the dirty little secret about all of the shadow banning, everything, all of the problems on YouTube, is that it didn't originate here in the United States. It originated in China because they have offices there. Now, instead of just saying all of that, I can prove it to you. And I can prove it to you in about, 35 seconds. You ready for this? Okay, for everyone who's my age, I'm sure I don't have to tell you what that song was. I'm sure many of you identified it within 10 seconds, if that. And it brought back memories. Now, had I played the original version of that song, within literally 3 notes, the AI would have demonetized this video and it would have probably banned it. I wouldn't have been allowed to upload it. You wouldn't even be seeing it. Played that way, this song by Klaus Meine completely confuses the AI. Funny story, I was brought up in a Pentecostal household, and a friend of mine, unknowingly, or knowingly perhaps, I'm not exactly sure, bought me this for my birthday. This album, the actual vinyl album, the huge, cardboard cover of this picture. Well, of course, Mom found it and flipped it out, rightfully so. And broke the album up. It was, one of those things that just happens when you're in a Christian household. Now, I wonder sometimes if I had been playing the Ulrika Rosen, who, by the way, was playing that version, if I had been listening to that version of the song from this album, and my mom had walked in and asked, wow, who's playing that beautiful piano music? I would have said it was Ulrika Rosen playing a song written by Klaus Meine. She probably wouldn't have batted an eye and walked out. It's funny because there's a lot of songs like that from the heavy metal era, that it was just the way it was put forth. But either way, you and I both know what that song is. We recognize it immediately. As far as the AI is concerned, it might as well be Mary Had a Freaking Little Lamb, because it has no ability to hear that and jive it with the version from the original Scorpions album. On top of that, I had mentioned before that I was kind of in the middle of a move and hadn't been feeling well, so I hadn't really been paying real close attention to the stats on Google, on YouTube. Something very strange was going on in the last week, and I'd like to share that with you. And it coincides with this event. Google temporarily shutting down all China offices due to the coronavirus outbreak. Now, here's a audience graph from my channel, And here's where my channel normally is. This little dip down here is when I had to take some time off and was moving, and I let like 36 hours go by and didn't post. Here's where China shut those offices. And look what happened when the human beings went away. Oops. See, China's going to learn a hard lesson. Their tech ain't going to save them. They can leave those computers plugged into the wall all day long back at the office, and it's not going to magically come up with a cure. It ain't going to fix it. You can either serve one master and hate the other, or vice versa. You will never, never be able to serve both tech and faith. You can't walk with God and hold hands with Satan at the same time. Where is their vaunted AI now? Probably sitting in a corner with its hands wrapped around its knees, mumbling incoherently to itself. That's actually the goal of this channel. To defeat that kind of stuff. To speak in a way and relate ideas in a way that are so far above the ability of a base computer to understand that we have nothing to fear. And neither do you from the AI. Artificial intelligence is only as good as those programming it. And whether we really want to accept this idea or not, North America is not the center of the world. 4 billion people live in China, Indonesia, India, Asia. Literally half the world lives in one tiny circle over there. We're really not even as big as their middle class. So when it comes to things like this, these World Wide Webs, it's their game. But this is what happens when they can't actually have human beings sitting in front of computers shepherding them to do certain things. And like I said, if you think you can have a computer that's going to figure out that the original version of the Scorpions song with the screaming guitars was the song that I just played, you're going to be waiting a long time. They'll never figure it out. Especially with the vocals. And the way that she was kind of playing around with the melody a little bit. I'll give you the link to that. She's absolutely, Ulrika Rosen is unbelievable. Her piano versions of, and she's done, gosh, there must be 60, 70, are just phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal versions of songs that you would never think. She does a version of Nothing Else Matters that'll bring a tear to your eye. It's absolutely gorgeous. And I mean, and given, looks like she's playing on a Steinway. You know, it's kind of hard to sound bad on a Steinway, but perspective. Perspective and understanding that we have a view on the world that no computer is ever going to understand. Sometimes it only takes the smell of a cologne or just a passing memory to evoke all sorts of things from the past, things you thought you'd forgotten. And that's why I use this from, what was this, 83, 84, something like that the Scorpions put out Love at First Sting. You know, and you wouldn't expect a song like that from these guys, but Queen was the same way. Those guys were geniuses. In fact, I think Freddie Mercury graduated from Juilliard. So, anyway, I just wanted to share this with you guys because it's pretty easy to see where the banning was coming from and that it took human beings to do it. And you have a choice, A or B. this or that, one or the other. You don't get to have both. No man shall serve two masters. Like, share, subscribe.